Hi, everyone. We are going to present the internationalization case of Arturo Calle. The group is formed by Valeria Galivero, Sara Natalia, and Camila Vargas, and me, Anderson Leon. So let's start.
Arturo Calle is a traditional brand that has been designed Colombian men a half century in the process of expansion in the region in the Latin America. Arturo Calle in that moment is the top of mind of Colombians and is one of the most important fashion and country in this moment. Even if not top five, the bestseller. The brand fashion retail for men in Colombia with the top of position, high sales, and the best company to work in the textile sector. Next, please. One of Arturo Calle's strategy is a reach with their public. Arturo Calle Kids was launched in it looked 2 years to looking for the strategic and create the brand, the designer of products. Arturo Calle was great success in only 13 days. Company sold 7% of global inventory. That is so good because they estimate for 90 days. Next, please. After coming the difficulties of pandemic and manufacturing or to move forward with all businesses, the line business, uh, the largest proposals of clothes for women and for the clothes with the family option and accessories, boys, gears, and younger women and men. There is a new line. In addition to its international expansion plans, the Arturo Calle plans to open 10 new stores in Colombia in the next months. Next, please. According to the Legis Comics, the first three countries with the Arturo Calle sports are Guatemala, United States, and Costa Rica. In the graph, we can see the Guatemala is the red color with more exports with the 31% in the year 22 to 21. In the second place, we can see the United States is the orange color with five, uh, five to 5%, and finally Costa Rica with 23% in this year. That is so good because the international process is to expanding in this region, the first Latin America. Next, we create DOFA, and the first is it has national brand recording and good corporation imagine, the product's capacity, and the opportunities free to agreement, the new technologies in the market, and the international market is growing. And the next lack the cement of international markets, and the second lack of strong social media or networks, and the globalization with the TLC with the international brands, the create of dollar affect domestic sales. Next.
Okay, to start talking about the country that my group select. The first one is Chile. Okay, to give a short introduction, We should know how Chile politically divided in coalition of left, center-left, and center-right. But where we currently find that Chile can more party as the regulation coalitions. Furthermore, it's a republic based on a parliamentary democracy, and they have an organization that is the National Innovation Council for Competitiveness. That organization promote the business innovation and the productive diversification, being science, technology, and human capital. Fundamental factors to achieve this, the medium and the long term. Other to the regarding financial services, that the organization recommends improving the tax system to eliminate distortions and affect competition and access to a credit for companies. Other thing is that they are based on a principle of capital transparency and the non-discrimination for the foreign investors. Also, they have a law that is the 2084 of 2015, which create the foreign for the foreign investment promotion, the agent that connect to interests to foreign investors with business opportunities. The other is that economic item. It's economy of Chile. Have a more strong in America economy, and one of the most integrative is a 57 free trade agreements. Other thing that is its geography. It has a extensive coastline of say 6.35 kilometers, which give it an advantage in the management of maritime transport. Due to its strategy position with wide access to connection channels between Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. But other thing is that there are inequalities in the distribution of wealth, and Chile is a country that consumes the most clothes per person or in South America, and also we have the Chile. In Chile, there is a strong presence of international brands. Their production is mainly made in Asia, like China, and some Latin America countries, such as Colombia. And other things, other important things is their GDP growth will reach 20.5% in 2022 and stabilize that 1.9% in 2023. Okay, we continue with the social item. Chile has a population for the year 2022 about 19 million persons. Its capital is Santiago and de Chile, and its currency is Chilean pesos. Chile is the 34th largest economy in terms of GDP, and the birth rate has experienced the market decline since 2022, and is considered one of the countries with the slow population growth in Latin America. Other important thing is that the country has reached a level of employment close to full employment, and on the other hand, the transportation within the country is very good, with reduced cost and time in transporting goods and and to the other companies or to the other house. Okay, we have that the people dress use dress for the formal clothing, and we have the technological finally. Regarding to the technological aspect, I already have that this country has a free trade agreements with different countries, such as USA and China. Another thing is that according to the World Economic Forum report, Chile is the leader in the use of information and communication technologies in the region.
Okay, I will talking about the Turkey. Next. The first item is political. It is a secular republic. It is a member of OTAN, the Council of Europe, and a candidate for the European Union. Turkey has a comparative advantage called strategic depth, and that derives from geographical location. This policy was based on the need to maintain adequate external balance in the search for alternatives in the event that eventually the main bet of Turkish foreign policy, which it is accession to the European Union. Another aspect that stood out the Turkish foreign policy was the decided to make to the most of its role as a country bridge between civilizations. This is one of the arguments that the Turkish government maintains most frequently to defend it is a section to the European Union. Next. The next aspect is economy. Turkey, largely free market economy, is driven by its industry, increasingly by the service sector. The Turkish Ministry of Treasury and Finance set new targets for the country's economy and aims to maintain the internal of online resource. As for the unemployment, a gradual decrease it is to 10% in 2024. In matters of free trade, it is exports will increase in the following years along with its imports. With the European Union being it is a main trading partner. Turkey is in 34th place of the make up the doing business ranking, which classifies countries according to the see the offer to the business is minimum wage, one of lowest in the world. Next. And the next one is social. The culture in Turkey began a market transition from the Islamic culture. The westernization of the customs of the population is especially evident in large cities such as Istanbul and Ankara. Most of the population considers itself to be European. It has a contributed spending culture of Turkish through that the continent. Turkish culture is a traditionalist based on their religion and beliefs. This stands out in aspect of marriage, birth of the children stands to the home, reference to images. ritual between you and all social and others. The finally is technological. Technology in Turkey produce value added products and boost that sector, the number of which increasing with the corporation of the university industry. The goal is to increase subside and incentivize for technology company. The Ministry of Science, Industry and Technology, which has increased its initiatives and investment to increase numbers in the technology sector known as development zones. The textile and clothing sector has been an important factor in the Turkish economy and has played a vital role in the process of industrialization and market orientation of the economy in the last 2 decades with the implementation of the new technologies to improve its process.
Okay, so the last country we choose is Italy. So next, please. Okay, so in the political factors, we found that Italy, as a member, as an active member of the European Union, has a strong political stability and also shares and promotes values such as legitimacy, transparency, and the protection of human rights. So another important political factor is that they use a system of progressive taxes, which means that the more you earn, the more you pay. Um, they also are committed with the protection of the environment, as they are members of a lot of treaties, international treaties, that aims to protect the green areas, oceans, animals, among others. Now, the government is planning to implement this recovery and resilience plan that basically seeks to stimulate the economy and to enhance some sectors of it, such as digital transformation, green transformation, and also improve the competitiveness of the country in the European Union and the international system. So in the social factors, we have that they have good levels of education. Um, Also, there is a lot of diversity in the country and beliefs. Nowadays, the religion plays a much smaller role in society, as there is not like much importance in terms of dressing and vestments. Now there is a special city that is Milano, that where there is a lot of importance of fashion and art. Um, there is a small problem, that is the depopulations of some towns and small cities, especially in the south of Italy. But the government is also planning to improve these indicators. So that's one, please. Now, the economic factors, we found that Italy has really good indicators, such as the GDP. As you can see, they have a GDP of 2.1 trillion dollars. That is a really great um, indicator. The GDP per capita is $34,000. The inflation at 2021 was established at 1.9%. That is not so high. The Human Development Index, they are in the rank 13 or out of like 184 countries. That is a very high and very good rank. And this index measures things as economic factors, education, expectancy of life, and others. Finally, the Gini index, that is the distribution of income, they have a really good indicator too. Now, the country is divided into areas, if you may. The first one is the north, that is marked by a very industrialized economy, and a lot of development, and that is mainly driven by companies that manufacturers that produce very high quality products. And the south, that is not as developed as the north, and it's a little has a little of lag in terms of industry. Now, there are also high levels of corruption and bureaucracy that the government plans to end with this, with the recovery plan that was a consequence of the pandemic crisis. Finally, in the economics, they are very vulnerable to the war in Ukraine, especially because they have a lot of dependence of Russian gas. So let's review the last factors. Next one, please. Now, technological factors. The government gives some tax cuts that seeks to stimulate innovation for some companies of some sectors, especially in fashion and other important companies. So this is our that wasn't good for Italy. That it is network readiness index that they are in 17th place out of 21. Finally, in 2021, they stood among the top 20 countries globally in the logistics performance index, which means that they have good roads, ports, airports, and the transportation codes, logistic codes, they're cheap or small compared to the other countries. So that's it for Italy. Next one, please. Now, in conclusion, we decide that Italy and Chile are the best options to internationalize the Arturo Calle's products, mainly because of their government. It's very stable, and also they have a really great economy. And Turkey was not, for us, is not a really good option because of the religion and the dress code that they have in this country. That's it's taking into account all the other factors that we explain along the presentation. So thank you, and this is it.